Archbishop Warda, thank you for being with us today. I'd like to ask you about this situation that we're all hearing about with Cardinal Sako and the Babylon movement. Let's take it a step back. Explain to us, what is the Babylon movement?
You see, in 2014, there was a call because of the collapse of the Iraqi army in Mosul, and 3 provinces were lost to ISIS, Daesh, and there was a call from the Al-Sistani in Najaf to call everyone really to take arm and fight back and resist. That was a fatwa for jihad to stop the ISIS from spreading. For that, lots of Shia started to form mobilized forces in a way. Beside the Iraqi army, beside the Peshmerga, the Kurdish Peshmerga, all of these units, and that was what we called a quick response. Some other Sunnis formed their groups as well, in that sense. Christians made two brigades, if we could say, 2 groups. They were trained quickly and they were moved immediately to the battlefield. And by 2016, the lands of provinces of Mosul were liberated. So what we call Babylonian Brigade were responsible for the north of Nineveh Plain, and there was the Nineveh Guards. That's another Christian, which was firstly established unit, was also responsible for the southern part of Nineveh Plain.
Okay.
So you have these kind of Iraqi army, Peshmerga units, Kurdish, and now the mobilized forces. Mobilized forces later on got more authority by the parliament, special budget, and then this brigade moved to a more political, still is within the mobilized forces units
that are standing against
where at that time were standing against ISIS, fought beside the Iraqi army under the command of the prime minister. That's all. But today, the fact there that mobilized forces is the 3rd security units, beside Peshmerga, the Kurdish units, and beside the Iraqi army, and they have a special budget. They have everything like what we call a systematic security forces, and then these Babylonian brigades moved to be a political party, and they also participated in the previous elections, and they have now the 4 seats of the quota, Christian quota in the parliaments of Iraq.
And moving forward, are they truly representing those Christian minorities that need representation?
If you ask them, they will tell you, yes, we got votes, and we were elected through the system that was already installed before us. The fact is that I mentioned this last Easter in my homily. In a friendly way, I've told to all parliamentarians since 2003, most of you have also dependent on the big parties to support you in your election, but please make sure that you will not represent big parties, you represent Christians, because it's a bit complicated, because as the church there, I and the bishops and the priests, we are like shepherds in a way. If they need spiritual consultation, they will come. Confession, they will come. If they need medicine, they will come to the church. If they need a job, they would come to the church. If there is any quarrel with others, they will come to the church. If they have any problem in the civilian departments, or they will come to the church. The church is the point of reference. So we do the work of our representative, our politicians.
Yes.
Here is something not clear. Sometimes we cross the line as a church leaders or church priests, not because we want to be there, but the people usually looks for help, for someone to support them. look for someone to really back them, someone to be with them. So they don't go to the politician's office, they don't go to the parliamentarian's office.
They go to their shepherd.
They go to the shepherds. And of course the parliamentarians would say, okay, you are interfering in the church issues. And we keep telling them, no, we have a word in politics. We have to say what's just and what's not just. We have to be a voice for that. So within that environment, everything is got mixed, and sometimes I think we need few years that things would become much clearer, that there are certain things, it's not the responsibility of the church. There are certain issues we cannot interfere. As a church, we would be always there to stand for the justice, and whenever there is unjust treatment of anyone, we should be the voice for them.
That's important to try to understand the cultural translation of the different ways that the church manifests itself in different countries. We're a global universal church. It's really hard to understand the politics. So knowing that, is there a better way that this situation with Cardinal Sako could have been worked out?
Of course, the President and Presidency Office have issued so many statements to clarify the situation, that we are not against the Patriarch, we are not against the Cardinal, we are not the one who appointed the Cardinal as a Cardinal. He's been appointed, he's been elected by the Chaldean Synod, he's been appointed by the Vatican. They've explained that, and they said these Republican degrees are not meant for him and for other church leaders, because we are not the one who appointed them church leaders. They are elected by their church's synod, and these withdrawal or cancelling of their degree does not really cancel any of their duties, or does not come closer to their dignity as cardinals. But I would say the timing and the way was a bit problematic. I mean, for the president, I'm not here to advise, but I've said it several times. There was another way. If the president wants really to evoke or to make any change, or he was supposed to call all these church leaders in a friendly meeting and tell them that, listen, these kind of Republican degrees does not hold any constitutional base, or all of these explanations, and I'm going to cancel this and present you with a new procedure that would maintain your rights as a church leader, the custodian of the endowments, all of these issues, which is quite important for us, because at the end of the day, as a bishop, I would want to see that these properties, church properties and endowments is secure, and I am the one who is in control of all of this according to the canon law, and that's really important. So there was a better way, not going to the public, not going to the media, and try to do it in a friendly manner, especially that Cardinal Sako is well-known figure, that he is always for Iraq, always supporting the Iraqi stability, or a voice for Iraq in so many international platforms.
Do you think that this is still developing? Will we see more changes to find that security for the church and its property?
I think that people are working closely together to find not just a solution, but a way to ensure that all these church properties are under the administration of the church and under the administration of the patriarchs, because there are 3 patriarchs there,
yes,
and also bishops and church leaders.
Okay. I have one more question for you, just about the synod. Everyone's talking about the synod of bishops. In October, you will all be, those that were chosen will be going to Rome, and then there's also another meeting next year. What are you seeing? Do you have hopes, worries for the synod coming up?
These synods, these meetings is really important event in a sense, because the gathering in itself is important. Sharing experience is important. Hearing the stories of each other is important. The outcome, we leave it to the Holy Spirit. That's important. But it's more important is the way that the whole church, all the faithfuls around the world, just to realize that they are not apart from this journey, and they are as responsible as those who are in the synod. So I think the big support that they should give is their prayers, and that we all have to pray for all the people who are meeting there in Rome, not for a successful outcome, but for a faithful outcome that would spread the gospel of Jesus Christ.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. We'll be praying with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Archbishop.
God bless.
Thank
God
you.
bless.